Hey everyone, welcome back to Ryan Makes Sense. So many wonderful earnings this week. I could not pass up the opportunity to review one of my favorites. I got into this one when it was $1 and it went all the way to 33 freaking dollars. Similar to apps, got in around $1.19, went all the way to 100. I freaking love companies where you find the momentum before it begins. I'm choosing to review Soul on a day where there's a lot of good companies because I think this one is going to go 10x again. I have started accumulating this one slowly. I do think it will take several more years to have another cycle where it gets over 30. But I just have to go through this company because number one, I need a refresher. And number two, I want to provide you guys insights into kind of how I see the stock and how I value companies. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. So, Renesola or Emeren is their new name. They specialize in commercial and utility scale solar projects. They don't have to worry about the regular everyday consumer repaying their loan or going bankrupt, etc. They are dealing with the big boys and girls in Europe, China. I don't know if they're getting away from China or what. The US, all over. They're headquartered in Connecticut. A lot of controversy was they're a Chinese company, blah, blah, blah. There was a short report put out by Hindenburg or maybe some other short firm, shop, whatever. Um, but anywho, we're here to talk about the earnings and then we're going to look at the balance sheet. We're going to run my calculation, see if this stock is what it is, and just overall thoughts. So, first thing I'm going to call out is I like to look at gaps when looking at the potential stock price. However, this stock went from 33 to now $2. The nearest gap up I could see, I don't even know if there are any recent gap ups. Maybe at 369, but I don't think this is going to get to 369. I think this company is still just going to consolidate, whether they crush it or not. 290 is my magnet stock price for Sol. If they have really good earnings, I think we go to 290, but then I think it fades over time. And I only say that not because the company's bad or not um, getting their stride. It's just this stock, I don't want to say it's manipulated, but it's consolidating. And I think those who invest in Renaissance or Emeren know that the momentum cycle is not ready. It needs to consolidate. It has not consolidated long enough at these levels. Let's see. It's still in a long-term downtrend. It still has not found its bottom. So I don't think we're there yet. So 290 is the ceiling. I think if they have killer earnings, whether they do or don't, if it's positive, 290, and it could just come slowly back down. Because I mean, you'll see like 160, like it went from 160 to 248, and now it's back to 197. I think it's just going to continue to have its moves and then just continue to consolidate, baby. Continue to consolidate. Um, so the high target's 290, the low target is 160. That's if earnings suck. I think in the long run, this could get back to $1, but it's still, there are several factors. In my opinion, this is kind of getting away from facts. Number one, this is my opinion, I don't think it has consolidated long enough or found a bottom. We have a multi-month bottom. You could see early February got to 153. End of April, it got to 158. That's just a couple months of potential consolidation. I don't know if I'd call it a true double bottom. I think it needs to spend a year in consolidation, which sounds stupid and crazy. I understand, but just hear me out. I There's also concern that they may not be able to keep the stock above compliance, which I think is $1, similar to Sunworks. It was ticker symbol SUNW. Um, Sunworks, along with SunPower, ticker symbol SPWR, they deal with residential loans. The rates, the loans, people going bankrupt, people not paying those back, people just saying screw it. SunPower is now in a horrible position. That's where I think Sol is a standout. I think it's going to consolidate, and I think it can last the next bull cycle market melt up, where I think Sol could go from several stocks that I've talked about can go from where they are at now to 10x. Sol being one of them. 2030 to 2032. So I've started accumulating a position now with the hopes of getting to 20 to 100,000 shares by 2028, 2029. Have that seasoning period for 1 year to have the long-term capital gains and hopefully see the next momentum cycle for everything. Similar to the Great Lockdown, similar to the GFC .com bubble, and so many more before it. One of my most popular videos is looking at periods of panic and when to buy or sell stocks. This a lot of my major 10 baggers, Enphase, Sol, AMD, apps. I need to write them down. What's the other one? I don't know. A lot of them they are built on, they're not built. They've consolidated on the monthly and are showing signs of a reversal. So, in my opinion, I'm also not concerned with Sol not meeting compliance. And I only say that. Now you have to say, Ryan, you're being biased here. You used to own this one. You have some feelings. It's a middle finger. But just like every type of asset or liability out there, it's got to be backed by something. And this stock is literally backed by Shaw Capital, their main investor. Every time this stock gets to a new level, Shaw is there to buy millions and millions of dollars worth and shares of this stock. They own 18.6 million freaking shares. So am I concerned that this stock will go under $1? Maybe. Am I concerned that they will lose compliance? No, they deal with commercial solar plants, community solar plants, utility scale solar plants. Their main money comes from governments or entities that have millions to spend, large investment portfolios. So this is a long-term gem, in my opinion. 10 bag that I'm slowly adding to. The other two, Emeren, ticker symbol USIO, and this one. There's a couple more, but I haven't added those yet. And when I say I'm adding, I'm doing 170 a week between Sol's getting a chunk, and then Sol, USIO, and Emeren. And I've done videos on those. My USIO video, I think I'm going to take that one off because I do need to paint that one in a better picture. The CEO did reach out to me, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm very optimistic on that company long term, by the way. I did represent some data information in the video, which I hate doing because when you have the CEO responding to you, it's like a ding dong. So that is Sol. I'm just on my soapbox here. We're going to make this quick. I'm not going to talk as much. This is my calculation for finding out the true price of microcap companies. So we have our sales, income, market cap. I worked at a microcap company. Every 100 million in sales was equivalent to a $1 stock. If we look right here, our sales are $104. That's $1.04 stock. But there's other things that go on, so let me just continue on. And I only include the market cap if it is over $1 billion. And this one is not. So we have 104.67 minus 9.32. All right, and we're going to go down and look at our cash and debt sheet, and we're going to go quarterly, and we're just going to make sure we're in USD. We are. Okay. Before we do that, total assets 478 million, total liabilities 113 million. Assets dwarf liabilities 3-1, almost 4-1, which is fantastic. So back to my calculation. Plus 70.17 minus total debt of 52.02. Okay. And we're going to take this and divide it by 60.21. So this has a fair stock price of $1.88. Analysts have this at $5.50. The last price targets were back in the huge melt up. I wouldn't really consider those up to date, but 188 is my calculated price target. Institutions own 39.58%. That is old data because FinViz does not update as often as FinTel. So remember 39.58. Again, that's old data. New data. Cheers, drink some water. All right, it's finally loading. 39.58 is old data. New data is, drumroll. It doesn't want to tell us, so we have to take 23,871. 23,871, 102. 102. 02 divided by 60 to 1. I think I added an extra zero somewhere. So it looks like oh, yep, I'm missing some zeros. So it should actually be 39.64%. So it's only up about 8.08% in institutional and hedge fund ownership, which is fine. That falls in line with this long-term consolidation that I think needs to happen. It doesn't have to happen. It needs to happen. And this is my apex of opportunity right here. This whole area where our long-term resistance meets our long-term support, I just might... Oh, shite. Dang it. I meant to grab this one. I just might retire on this next soul move if I can accumulate as much as I want to. So, again, this is our apex. A lot of these companies get to an apex, but there has to be a story. There has to be momentum. There has to be a lot of things that indicate a move. So right now, I think the healthy thing for Sol, I think they're going to continue to keep making partnerships, making deals, installing utility size power plants, etc. But I think this stock is just going to consolidate and consolidate. And I'm going to keep eating up the shares slowly and slowly. Anyway, besides the point, if you made it this far, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. That's all I've got. Enjoy the rest of your week. And that's really, yeah. Goodbye.